I think it was huge. It was really good to be able to really evaluate a lot of different people, evaluate the quarterback specifically, get to see them in some different atmospheres and different situations. It's always good to have some of those resets, especially after coming off a game like that where it shows we got a long way to go. So it was really good to go out that week, get some good practices in, and get better.
You think the challenge this week? What's going to be important for you guys?
Yeah, playing a really good defense with Cincinnati. They're good across the board. D line, linebacker, secondary. It's going to be really important for us to do what we do and execute. We can't make mental mistakes, can't turn the ball over. The same things that we talk about really each week. Very similar to playing Notre Dame's defense. It was a great defense. Cincinnati is right up there as well. So making sure that we do the little things right, working on our details, and then having some balance in the run game and pass game. Like I said last week, we've got to continue to get better and improve in the passing game and make some of those throws down the field work. And so that's going to be really important this game.
What impresses you most about their defense? I know their interior is a senior-heavy group that's been growing together the last 3 years.
Absolutely.
What impresses you most about the unit?
Yeah, I think that D line does a great job, and I think they're very well structured and very well coached. That defense, you can tell they fly around. Even watching the Army game this weekend from home, even though it's not the same schematically. Obviously they're doing the triple option stuff, but seeing those guys fly around, they got good team speed on defense. That D line gets up the field and creates some disruptive plays, and you can tell it's a very well coached group with a very good scheme.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Luke Fickell's defense and expand more on that? Some of the kind of variation of looks that he shows a lot of different teams and kind of the challenges that
Yeah,
with that.
Yeah, he's got a couple good packages that he has. Between the 4 down and 3 down, you're going to see both of those fronts. I think the 3 down package that they've really gotten to a good bit over the last year, and saw it a good bit against Austin Peay. Does a really good job of taking away some of the edges of the defense and having some overhang players protecting some stuff, some of your perimeter plays. It's very sound, it's very structured in a unique way that's a little bit different that what you see week to week. And then he's got the ability to get to his normal 4 down front as well and do some things out of that where they got some really good pass rushers. So I think the variety of different things that they can do is really impressive and very well coached.
Charlie, this is obviously not an excuses-based profession,
Yeah.
but how much has COVID disrupted what y'all are trying to do? Not just at quarterback, but everywhere. You haven't even had your starting 11 yet in a game.
Yeah, and it's a very unique year. The only thing I would say is just everybody's dealing with it, and so obviously there's going to be problems with it, and hey, there's a player here or there missing, and obviously you want to have that whole group, but we got to find a way to create some depth and create some other players, and it's been good in a way that you get some younger guys some action when they normally haven't, and we're going to need those guys into conference play and into the season. So obviously it's tough, but we got to work on getting better and work on controlling the things that we can control, and we can't control COVID, so we got to work on what we do and get the players that we have ready to go.
Coach was saying last week, maybe the position he's most pleased with is offensive line. Good protection, 2 games in a row. Just your thoughts on how the offensive line is playing and the depth you have.
Yeah, I think Coach Mo has done a great job with that unit. And, I think we talked about it over the summer about how that group really kind of made that decision that they were going to put the work in to really improve. And I think that's certainly shown in a big way. And like you said, there's been multiple players that have had to step up with certain people being out. And so that's really encouraging. And I'm really looking forward to, when all those guys are finally back in action, we can play 8, 9 guys, let them roll and keep everybody fresh and feel good about them.
Their secondary, could you just speak to them? That's kind of like considered a strong point of what they do.
Absolutely. Both of their corners do a really good job. Do a good job both to the boundary and field with 12 and 7. The secondary, they play a good bit of DBs in their nickel package. You can tell why, because they got great team speed and they can fly around and make plays. They put them in a lot of situations where they're in man coverage, and they do a really good job. So it's certainly a big task this week, especially for our wideouts and quarterbacks going against a good secondary that we got to get ready to go and compete and see their techniques and know how to play.
Do you anticipate we'll see predominantly man coverage?
Yeah, I think until we show that we can really push that ball down the field, I think that's something that we always got to expect to be ready to see.
Yeah, first of the week, you're getting ready for the game, right? the FAU game. So it's again, it falls in line with nothing surprises you now. To all of a sudden later in the week get the change. So it's not like we could treat it like a true off week, but obviously when you're not as rushed for that Saturday, when you find that out, you could kind of start on the new game plan for the next opponent, and go back and look at things from that week, schematic things or personnel things, whatever. Yeah, so it's kind of bad that you have to go back and visit it so fast or so much. You wish you could just move on and forget about it. So you can't though.
Looks like you're going to be facing very formidable O-line for the second consecutive game. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, Joey, and it's like it's kind of like the whole personality of the team. The tight end sets that they use. And then the experienced O line. You got the experienced quarterback. So I guess if there are a positive that it's just a lot of similarities from corrections from that game to what you're going to face against Cincinnati. A lot of similarity, a lot of carryover, and that's always good. Obviously, you still got to stop it. You got to play better than you did. You got to tackle better than you did. And the physicality of what we have to bring to the table has got to improve. So those are kind of the points of emphasis going into this thing.
How have the guys responded since last game after looking at the tape and making your adjustments? How have you seen?
Good. Yeah, it was. Obviously it was a bitter pill to swallow, and kind of like life hits you in the mouth, and that performance, that game hits you in the mouth. I don't care who it's against or what. You can come up with any excuse that you want to, but you want to play better, and we didn't. So they came back. We practiced well. I think the first meeting or two was like, hey, guys, you had to kind of let them know they can go one or two ways now, right? And, you challenge them to say, you want to let this thing haunt you. You want to look at it as it is and be disappointed and be self-critical, just like we as coaches are. And we're all in this thing together. And if you look in that mirror first before you look outside of it, you'll be all right. If you really, truly value getting better, then that's what you'll do.
What's your impressions of their quarterback? You mentioned he's an experienced player, but he has some wheels too.
No doubt.
What do you think about him?
Again, very smart. You just look at kind of, if you study some of the adjustments he makes, their check with me system, he's going to kind of get him in the right play. Knows where to go with the ball. Knows when to pull it, when not to. Doesn't get too greedy. Really good straight line speed. So it's deceiving because he's a long body type. And he's, again, nothing's going to rattle him. He's been in the big games. He's led them to a lot of big wins, and he's got a lot of respect for him. Anybody that's taken that many snaps and won at that high a level, you have a lot of respect for.
Coach Scott was indicating yesterday, this is not an overnight fix. This is a process. I'm sure you've been in this position before in your career where it's just a process. What do you embrace about that?
He's got a great vision of what he wants, and he shares that with us. And he's in his mind, he's got a plan. On my end, I'm probably the opposite as far as I want tomorrow's practice to be perfect. So that's just some pressure you put on yourself to want to fix now. And I hope that's one of the reasons that he brought me in, because if there's an issue, doesn't matter who's out because of this reason or that reason. Those 11 out there are my guys, and those 11 out there got my name on them, and I tell them that all the time, same way as I do with them. So yes, it's a process, but we're hired as assistants to get it figured out quick and to have solutions. That doesn't mean it's going to happen all the time, but that's what I put on my shoulders, is let's find the solutions right now. let's find ways to win games.
Could you speak to just the development of Thad since he's joined this program?
Yeah, Thad. There's a lot of nice things have been written about Thad, and he's well deserved. A lot of times, places I've been when I've gotten some transfers in, I've had some very fortunate transfer situations come in and hit well, and but they hit well because it's the young man's attitude when he comes in, and he had that attitude of, all right, I'm coming into this family. It's up to me, to please, and Thad is a pleaser, and that's from the effort that he gives to the preparation that he gives, and he wasn't a guy with, all right, I expect this out of you from me. He came in to serve. He came in to contribute, and that gave him a chance. And then when those transfers have that mentality, then they're embraced by everything, right? They all of a sudden they're entwined, and it's like he's been here for 4 years. So that newness with him, as him being a transfer, that wore off with us so long ago. Now he's just Thad, a defensive tackle getting ready for a game, if that makes sense. So,
Coach, I thought Mikhail Point has had some nice flashes for the first 2 games. Can you just talk a little bit about the growth you see from him in the campus? And
yeah, I'm glad you mentioned him because he has been one that, you're in those camp days and like, yeah, he's going to be all right. Yeah, a little time. Let him just kind of ripen up a little bit. It's a little green. And then all of a sudden it seems like just the last couple of weeks, practices, vision, communication, we're in there watching tape and it's like, hey, this kid's getting it a little quicker than what we thought. And obviously his length helps. But, my old coach told me it's played on 100 yards of grass, but it's won and lost in these 4 inches between your ears. Right. And that's what Makai's got. So I'm encouraged just to see him keep trending just like he is.